following his hard-fought battle against Robert Whittaker in the co-main event of UFC 298. Paulo Costa took to Twitter to address the loss and offer his thoughts on the fight. Despite Whittaker's majority decision victory, Costa's post stressed enthusiasm and gratitude for the support he got. Costa recognized his admirers, saying, "Hey guys, you're amazing. Thank you for your help." He then went on to express his thoughts on the bout, claiming that he was winning by squeezing Whittaker and causing injury to his face. Conceded that the judges perceived it differently, but he stayed unfazed, assuring fans that he is injury-free and eager to continue pushing forward. Costa added, "During the fight, I felt like I was winning, pressuring him back and hurting his face, but the judge thought otherwise. Anyway, I'm back, no injuries, and I'm going to increase the pressure till I finish. I love you all." Costa's message showed his positive attitude and readiness to move forward. Despite the setback, he is optimistic about the future and hinted at a more aggressive approach in his upcoming battles. Costa had taken a nearly 2-year break from competition before entering UFC 298 and had an outstanding performance, showcasing his tenacity and competence against a quality competitor. Sean O'Malley, the UFC bantamweight champion, focused on the latest bantamweight fight between Morab and Henry Cejudo at UFC 298. During the UFC 298 post-fight show at the Honda Center in Anaheim, O'Malley saw Morab beat Cejudo by unanimous decision. O'Malley offered his initial thoughts on the battle, highlighting the difference between seeing the fight unfold on television, and he showed an interest in re-watching the fight to conduct a more in-depth analysis, but he did make some comments. "It's interesting to watch battles in real life, rather than on television. As Ali mentioned, I'd like to watch it again on TV to give my entire feedback. I heard Henry had some wounds before the fight. He appeared tired, but Morab looked well. A decent little fight between two small fellas confirmed rumors of Cejudo's likely injuries." O'Malley stressed that, despite Cejudo being exhausted, Morab had made a strong effort. He described the fight as a good one between the two. Despite briefly focusing on the Morab-Cejudo battle, O'Malley quickly pivoted. In his next title defense against Marlon Chito Vera at UFC 299, O'Malley emphasized the need to focus on the job at hand before evaluating potential future opponents. 3 weeks into UFC 299, everything is going so smoothly, as O'Malley stated about his upcoming fight versus Vera. "I need to get through Chito before I start saying I might fight him or this guy as Ali prepares to defend his belt." Morab eagerly awaits the outcome of UFC 299, hoping to earn a crack at the UFC title if he wins his next fight. That is big. One day after the amazing UFC 298 night, which was packed with interesting fights, including a thrilling co-main and headliner, Ilia Topuria was able to put his words into action by defeating Alexander Volkanovski. Topuria beat Volkanovski by knockout. However, evidence from fans on numerous UFC and mixed martial arts sites suggests that Topuria used unfair strikes to win. The pictures show Topuria delivering a couple punches, landing behind Volkanovski's ear or back of the head shortly before he catches him with a straight blow and knocks him out while Alex is on the ground. The final punch looks to strike behind the head before the referee intervenes and calls the fight off. Despite the evidence of observant fight spectators, everything seemed to have gone according to plan, since neither Alex, his staff, nor the commentators sitting a few meters away from the two fighters saw anything out of the ordinary. During Alexander Volkanovski's request for an instant rematch during UFC 298, newly minted UFC featherweight title holder Ilia Topuria answered during the post-fight press conference, showing his respect for Volkanovski as a person. Topuria stated that he thinks it is time to move on and clean up the division by fighting fresh opponents. Topuria said he's a wonderful guy. "To be honest, at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, I'll give him a rematch because he's a good person, but it's time to move on. It is time to tidy up the split a little. It's time for the next generation to have new challengers and faces, and I believe I'll be looking for them. But to be honest, my job is to fight whoever they tell me I'll have to meet and fight next." Topuia's point of view shows that while he respects Volkanovski and is open to a rematch out of goodwill, he is also keen to take on new tasks and faces in the division. He sees himself as a champion who will battle anybody the promotion gives him. UFC CEO Dana White has indicated an interest in having Topuria headline a show in Spain. and the newly crowned champion is receptive to the idea. If this event happens, it will be interesting to watch who Topuria faces in his first championship defense, possibly a new contender from the featherweight category. Ian Garry gave a stern warning to Colby Covington during the post-fight news conference after defeating Jeff Neal at UFC 298. Garry was intent on making Covington his next target, especially in response to remarks made about his family and wife. Garry added, "Let him write his script, do the panto, the act, and everything. I'm going to get to punch him in the face. He can talk to me, my wife, my family, and my children. He can say whatever he likes. I will punch them out of him. And I plan to hit him so hard that he is unable to talk again." This stern warning shows Garry's eagerness to fight Covington in the octagon and his willingness to settle any personal feuds through physical battle. Garry's statement suggests a strong desire to challenge Covington and deliver a dominant performance in the upcoming showdown. Covington's actions and comments appear to have spurred Garry's desire to face him as the next opponent in his undefeated UFC welterweight career.